That's dope. That's dope.
What is up, Wolfpack? Round 2 for the day. Welcome to Bullish on Bitcoin. We do this every Friday afternoon, my time, 1:30 p.m. EDT, but I am cognizant of the fact that for many of you, it is afternoon, evening, and night, like the Truman Show. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So I appreciate all of you who are showing up at this time as your weekend is starting. It means a lot to me to have you guys here. Before we get started, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and use your wrist, the back of your wrist, to hit the like button. I don't know how you're going to do that, but that's the style that you got to use today. So guys, listen, as you know, every single Friday, Bullish on Bitcoin is sponsored by my good friends at Superbit. I'm trying to, there's the thing, right? Read that. Everything's down in the description. Please click on it. But let me tell you just a little bit about, they launched a couple weeks ago, extremely successful. They've already done epic NFT launches with like Logan Paul, Amanda Cherney, a bunch of other people. Basically what they do is they allow celebrities, influencers, athletes, who I guess are both celebrities and influencers. So they're all kind of the same thing. They can mint NFTs that are tied to experiences without any knowledge of how to mint an NFT. And you can go and buy them without having to do it with Ethereum. You can use your credit card. You don't have to understand wallets. You literally don't have to understand anything. It's making it really easy for mainstream to interact with NFTs on both sides, on the minting side and on the purchasing side. You just go on there, you buy diamonds, which is their coin. You use it inside the Superbit is the main coin. You buy diamonds to use on the platform. And it's actually pretty incredible. Actually, I can bring it up. I have it right here. This is what the marketplace looks like. They don't know that I'm doing this. But you can see Leylah Fernandez, who was just in the finals of a major tennis tournament. Valeria, I can't even pronounce her names. Olyanovskaya, who is a professional tennis player. She'll give you a tennis training session. Just go hang out with her, train for some tennis. I mean, Natalia Janizik, you can go to dinner with her. I think this is selling for like, sold already for, that's like $1 million. Let's see. Yeah, $1.0836 million. You can see this platform is career. They are getting it done over there. So guys, please show them support. Wolfpack, go down there. Just click on the link. Check it out. See if there's anything there that is up your alley. Now, most importantly, I have one of my favorite special guests today. You guys know we go back and forth on each other's shows. It's kind of become a thing. He now has a new show on Crypto Banter where he shares wisdom from his book. Absolutely incredible. I went on that show, and I know that that's massively growing. The numbers are astronomical, much bigger than my live streams. But I'm really proud, man. I'm so excited to welcome Big Cheds again to the stream. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm smiling, man. You can't see it. So definitely happy to be here. Definitely appreciate it. Hey, what's up with that intro music? Really, did you make that? Or where did you get that
I made
from?
that. I
Really?
produced that. I produced that years ago. Like, they asked me to submit some beats for some like big rappers. And that was one of the beats that I made and submitted probably in like 2014 or 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it never got used. And so when it was time to do my podcast, they were like, I was working with this company, Blockworks. They were like, we need to like go get a music. I was like, bro, I got music. And we did that. And it just kind of became my song. It's actually like a full 3.5 minute song. It's just, we get the snippet here. But it's like my favorite thing is when that intro music hits and I can see like my guests backstage and they're always like,
it's
they
stanky,
get that.
funky,
I can't see
right?
your face, but I saw the head.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely getting down with that. So
I'm
thanks
curious,
for having me. Yeah.
Is that orange? Does that cover your eye? Like, can you see?
I
Where
can
are
see.
your eyes? Is it a cutout? It's like one of those, like you're Spider-Man and
I get the eyes in the back of my head, but they're right here, brother.
Nice. It looks like almost so you can get like the whole thing. I like the orange, the Bitcoin robe. You're very Bitcoiny, which must mean that you are bullish on Bitcoin.
It's the right show. You've got the right guests. It's funny. People often say I'm a bear. I'm always a bull, but like, Bitcoin isn't always bullish. Like Bitcoin below 42K wasn't bullish for me. Bitcoin, below 30K wasn't bullish, but like, long-term bullish. I only hold. I don't, we dollar cost average. We add to our hodl. I'm a bull, but I'm not a perma bull. I'm trying to be objective and honest. But
well, you can be a macro perma bull, but as a trader, you can be very bearish. I mean, I always hate the idea of the terms bullish and bearish because they always have to be attached to a time frame for context, or nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. And they'll jump down your throat. Like if you would be like, I think Bitcoin might like go down like $2 or $3 grand today. That's not bearish. That's just like talking about price action, right? I'm not saying
people don't want to hear that, man. People don't want to hear that, but That's the thing. It's like how you package what you say, and do you want to tell people what they want to hear, or are you trying to be objective? And it's just your time horizon and all that. So, I mean, I'm definitely bullish. So you got me on the right show.
Cool. Perfect. I'm glad. So let's talk about your bullishness. I'm going to let you go ahead and share your chart. I got you pulled up here.
Sure.
So if you're ready, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but,
No, you're
and
good.
guys, actually, so first of all, always guys, feel free to comment. I'll try to track what you're doing while he's talking. And after this, I'm going to put Big Cheds to the test. I'm not sure if he knows this or is going to agree, but we're going to do it anyways, where I'm going to ask you guys for some chart requests, and both Cheds and I are going to pull them up blank and see what we think of a couple charts, just so you guys can see, I guess, how both of our minds work, which I do all the time, and see if that seems like it'd be fun. But first of all, go ahead, talk Bitcoin. Let me know what you're seeing.
Yeah, and definitely. I'm also looking forward to those requests. It's always fun because a lot of the stuff I've never heard of, and then you just pull it up but Bitcoin, obviously, we're on the weekly time frame. If we're talking about, bigger picture, weekly is a good one to start with. And I talked about it in my banter show. Thanks for the plug last night. And really, we had this massive move, the October to really the 10K to 60K, and like that has to digest, right? Any kind of large move, it's not just going to go straight up. Maybe you get like a nice bull flag. Maybe you get a pennant. Maybe you get some kind of ascending triangle, something like that. But it has to digest, right? And we've been doing that. We set our high, we set our low, then we set our lower high, which caught a lot of people off guard, actually. Some people didn't. I was on watch for a higher low because on a lower high rather, because you always are going to do that. Boom, 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 really tight. And then, from there, usually the trend will continue. It's one of those principles, right? Trends tend to continue. You want to give the benefit of the doubt to whoever has, the momentum beforehand. So we had our high, our low, lower high, and then here we set our higher low. And if we notice in the weekly chart, it was really about the MA50, that simple moving average that held. We never closed below it. Weekly chart never broke down, even as the daily chart was breaking down. The weekly chart never did, and it came really close. We had our consolidation, and then we just punched right through that level. We broke that lower high. That is a big time suggestion that we're going to be testing 60, 61K at some point in the near future.
Were you just sorry to interrupt, but were you surprised at how easily that broke?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was on a daily candle and I was watching, I was like, oh, I mean, listen, we all know either you get front runner at nukes, it never just kind of stops there. But it was like butter. I thought that there would be a lot more resistance there.
I thought there was too. And I actually was, I was anticipating rejecting here at 48K. I got caught a little bit off guard. I thought we might get rejected at 48K, come back, find support at 45,
right?
A little bit here, right? We had this outside bar on the October 3rd, and I started to get a little bit cautious. I was thinking, right here, I'm thinking, are we going to do like a diamond top type of thing? We started to do that like broadening top, and then boom, forget about it, right? We had that second outside bar, October 4th, and the rule with outside bars is when you close near the height or the low, like closing near the high of an outside bar suggests continuation. So you actually got a nice little clue there, and then boom, it continued. We cleared this level, and if you looked intraday, Scott, when it broke this level, it jumped $1,000 in like 5 minutes, right? As soon as it broke 52, the algos kicked in, right? Once it cleared this level, boom, it just shot up $1,000. So it's clear to a lot of people, as it should be, that this was a level that signified a momentum change, right? Our job as technicians is to identify the trend, then identify levels in the chart that would suggest a strengthening or a weakening trend. And breaking that level really suggests a strengthening trend.
Yeah, it's really pushing the top of the bands on basically every time frame, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting. We got in that power zone in the RSI for like a half a second. But it's cool. It can just consolidate here. I think we buy any dip back to moving averages, 8 EMA, buy any dip back to 52.8. If that breaks, we're buying 48K. I mean, we're buying dips right now because there's been a momentum shift. And I think retail wanted to go straight up, but just in the way that this larger move had to consolidate, this move right here has to consolidate, right? This move from 41 to 50, 2 or whatever we just did.
Massive.
It's ridiculous. Like that's going to consolidate. So it will consolidate. We want to look for the next level of higher low support. We're seeing it here, the low, a higher low. We're getting these higher lows. We want to see what that next higher low is. What do you think, though? So that you kind of led in with that question, was it stronger than I anticipated? Do you think it's an ETF run-up type of thing, or what do you think's going on there?
I mean, listen, I like to just try to ignore the narratives because they're generally absurd. If if it's institutional buying, it does look like it's big wallets, right? So I mean, retail is piling in, but definitely on chain, it seems like big wallets. Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like maybe I don't want to say insider trading, but I feel like if there's anticipation, I mean, if you work at any of these big banks, you have an idea of what's coming, right? So I think maybe they're buying in anticipation of this happening. My question for you is: so I think that a Bitcoin ETF outright physical gets rejected, right? I mean, we've seen it rejected over and over again. Van Eck's been kicked down the road till November. This is finally it. But, Gensler said sort of a futures ETF would be approved, right? That's the easy approval. Do you think that a futures ETF, I've seen a lot of people who kind of say that with a futures ETF, structurally, you would expect there to be selling pressure because, you're sort of in contango the whole time. And then when your position closes, there'd be selling pressure. So do you think that this is as bullish as everyone thinks, or do you think that this could be one of those like 2017 CME launches, Bitcoin futures, and that's the top of the market?
So I saw some great tweets from that guy Alex Kruger. Who's like
exactly
he
tweets
crypto
stuff.
Macro. I don't understand anything he says, but I know
he's on another level. He's an economist. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like I imagine some people think that when I tweet about a Bollinger Band, they've never heard of it. It just I want to know what he's talking about. I saw him talking about the contango, where if you go, the futures prices get larger as you go further back in time. Futures ETF versus spot ETF. I don't really have an opinion because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's complex. I mean, I just generally think it's bullish, right? We're seeing buying into it. So if we're believing that people are buying in anticipation of it, maybe it becomes a sell the news thing at the very short term. But long term, you have to think if smart money, quote unquote, is buying in anticipation of this ETF, then that ETF should long term be a good thing. And I mean, Bitcoin's almost always in contango, meaning that the futures prices are, priced higher than the current ones. It's backwardation when they're lower for anyone who hears those terms.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been like, if you're wondering for everyone, like how a lot of these companies, the Celsius's, BlockFi's, all of them are offering you yield, it's that trade. You take advantage of that gap, and it's basically free money. When there's in contango, you can buy the Bitcoin future, then short the underlying, and you basically make free money. You get yield. Like you might make 15%, they hand off 12% to their people. Same thing when Grayscale was in, a premium. Basically, it was free money for them because they could trade it in between, knowing what the expected future was. So I think that that's how a lot of this yield is actually being generated. So what do you think? Like, do you ever zoom out to the monthly chart and just take the really long view all the way back to 2010 and take a look at it?
I honestly only look at monthly charts to see if there's like a cool candlestick to tweet about. It's almost like engagement bait. I want to tweet something interesting. And when I look at the monthly chart, I mean, I know it's a primary trend, uptrend. It's just going to keep running up. I mean, it's like, it's one of those things where I look at the monthly chart and I say to myself, I could just buy and then go on vacation and come back and it'll be higher.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So, what do we see here? A clear move in the monthly chart. We see the clear break. Obviously you can identify that. You get the clear break of that 17 high. You see these lows here, these nice 3 lower shadow candles, right? The spinning top. And then it moves up in the daily chart, and we've continued higher. We're above these moving averages. So it's just obviously a bullish chart on the monthly chart, but like nobody follows me on Twitter for like a monthly call. Cause like they're trying to trade,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look at it for something interesting, like here, the evening star, that's like, okay, watch out. But when it completed, that was like basically at the bottom. So that's the thing. You got to be careful if this 3 candle combo, right?
The candle that confirmed was basically the entire move.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? And that's the thing. Candlestick signals are, they're short-term signals. Most of us are making our trades daily or maybe lower, probably lower time frame, hour, 4 hour.
You can't. I mean, it's nice to get an idea of trend, but you can't trade Bitcoin on weekly charts. I mean, my God.
It's but it can give you comfort to buy
context. You need to know that I always start there because I want to know that the trend is generally up or down. But like, point being, like, I always see people because they know I love divergences. Obviously, they're like bearish divergence potentially on the weekly, right? And I'm like, a divergence can take 12 candles before it even plays out. You're like 3 months from now trying to trade the signal that just printed. So like, there's certain things just don't really work on large time frames. And as you said, so that there was your signal, but if you waited for confirmation on the monthly from that evening star, you missed the entire move and price was ready to go back up.
I think weekly's great when you're in those panic moments. You know, it's like, what are we at now? 53K, Scott? If it dropped to like 35K, we'd probably be freaking out. But then we go to like the weekly and say, it's kind of
a higher low
here. It's a higher low, and you know, it gives you a little more confidence to buy that blood. You know, you want to buy the blood, sell the greed, more or less. So the weekly chart will help you, I think, or should help you have a little more confidence when you're trying to buy that bottom and have confidence it's not going to go that much lower. It also can give you a good failure point. Like if we had closed below the MA50, I think that really would have shown a threatened trend, and that hasn't happened, at least not yet.
Yeah. Do you have like ideas for cycle tops or anything like that? Wild predictions? I don't know if that's your thing, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm just kidding.
So people call me bearish because I've been a little more conservative. I've actually thought for the most of this year that we won't break 64K this year, and definitely won't crack 100K this year. I still think we won't break 100K this year, but since we just broke our lower high in the weekly, I think we have a decent chance of challenging this lower high here.
It should get tested. I mean, it should get tested.
That's what this means. That's what breaking this means. Maybe it takes a couple weeks, few weeks, as they say. But I really don't think we hit 100K this year. I mean, that's just not going to happen. Fine. I'll eat my hat and I'll go buy a nice dinner because I hold some Bitcoins. I'll be happy about that. But cycle top, I think, okay, so here's a scenario. You asked about the ETF. I think what is it, like early October, we could, let's say end of October, say we keep pumping and the price is right here at like 58K, and the ETF comes in, we'll probably blow off to like 70K and then have like a super hard dump, right? I can see that. We've run up into it. You get that approval, get a quick, like an up thrust. We get a temporary break maybe of this all-time high, and then kind of come back below it, and then maybe start to retest, these lower levels and really put those longs to test, really kind of challenge people, challenge the believers. So I could see that happening. I could see
it's never easy.
That. It's never ever easy, man. If it was, people wouldn't listen to us. They'd be doing it themselves. It wouldn't need to look for wisdom from people who've been trading this and have a little bit of experience. But the buy the rumor, sell the news, we're clearly pumping on anticipation of something. You can't, if ETS is approved, it's not going to keep running because people have been buying because of an approval, I think. So I think we have to be a little bit more cautious I would actually be more cautious on an ETF approval, because it would lead to a blow off, a retail trapping event, and then some type of.
That's definitely it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Everyone's buying the rumor right now. That's what I was saying. Maybe for at least temporarily, it becomes a sell the news thing. Just like the halving, right? You don't expect, or having, you don't expect it to do. It doesn't do anything in the moment. It's just sort of thing. So it always happens 6 months later that you sort of see the bump, right? Even if people are anticipating it. It's a good question. Can someone tell me why suddenly everyone is assuming an ETF is inevitable? Viv, the reason is because the Bitcoin physical ETF, a real Bitcoin, true Bitcoin ETF, has been rejected over and over again, and they have to make a decision by November. So that may or may not happen, but Gensler has been pretty clear. He's mentioned it like 3 times, the chairman of the SEC, that he would probably look seriously at a Bitcoin futures ETF, which to a lot of people is almost the same thing. So that's why. And I think when you take that sort of tone and combine it with what you're seeing from institutions, it kind of gives you some confidence that it might happen. And listen, so the other question is, if we don't see an ETF, does all of this fall apart?
That's the problem. I think we dump harder on that. I was thinking about that. I think we're probably going to dump either way, because either selling the news, or if it comes, it's going to even harder. And I think that will just lead to an opportunity. That's what we want to look for. We all have a long time horizon. We understand we're in Bitcoin, obviously, to make a short-term profit, but obviously are likely to hedge against other investments, other things we have going on. There's all sorts of stuff going on with the technology, and people are doing great things with that, NFTs and DeFi and stuff that is kind of over my head, but I see it going on. I'm happy about it. It's a great, right? It's a great ecosystem, and so you want to buy a dip if it happens. So, I think either way, the way it's trading, either way, it's a little bit dangerous. The fact that we're rising in anticipation, heading right towards this big level.
It's gonna. What do I know? Maybe it just nukes right through that level on some major whale move, and it's hilarious. There's some hilarious comments here. Another person disliking the video. It's one person every show, and then he goes on to say, "I'm convinced it's Emmy." Is that you, Emmy? My wife? Are you out
Yeah.
there being a one disliker? Oh, we got a good question here, though, for you. Seriously. I wonder what Big Cheds thinks about Plan B's stock to flow model.
The flow model. So I try not to comment on things that I don't know anything about, which means most of the time I don't say anything. But I study classical charting. It's been around like 100 years. I study, candlesticks. It's been around hundreds of years. And that's what I know and that's what I believe in. If stock to flow helps people, then that makes me happy. But it's not something that I hold in anywhere near high regard as technical. It's not technical analysis. It's something new. It's like on-chain that has potential to give you some information, but I just don't see it in the same light. It's not established.
It's just a model, right? And he'll be the first to tell you that. Like, I've had him on, and he's like, yeah, there's things that would invalidate my model. I mean, I think, I don't know if it's this month. I mean, now he's saying that the model says 63K
this month.
And I do think that he says this month, but I hate putting things on time frames, but we've both agreed. We think that gets tested, right?
So I've never really even talked to him. I see, it's almost like I see the ripple in the water. Other people have good opinions of him. So I say, oh, that's cool. He's doing something right. Never talked to him. I've never studied the stock to flow. It's like I avoid things that are going to take me off. What I'm trying to do is get really good at what I do, and I'm keep reading, keep studying classical charting. But if he's right, like, that's awesome. I want Bitcoin to go up, I'd love it.
Yeah. Oh, I think everyone would. He said, what are your thoughts on Plan B predictions? That's what we were just talking about, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to open the floor here. I'm going to have my producer choose. Go ahead, throw some requests, and both Cheds and I are going to take a look at one or two random charts. So this is your chance. Throw them out there. I always tell you guys not to spam the chat with chart requests.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try to find one that you haven't looked at, so maybe we can find a naked chart. And we've got to make sure that it's on TradingView. Of course, you're on TradingView, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love people always ask these, like, you can go do it on tradingstock.org.dextools.people versus the WETH reverse pair. Yeah, I don't know.
I tell people if it's not on TradingView, don't trade it. Like, if it doesn't have 6 months of history in TradingView, don't trade it. Like,
All right. So have you ever looked at, I'm looking over here. Have you ever looked at Chili's?
No.
CHZ.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Let's see. Bitfinex, Chiz, Dollar.
It should be on Binance, I think.
All right. I've got it since 2020.
Maybe
That's
not. If it's not, we can, CHZ USDT on Binance. I'm pulling that chart up myself.
You got it.
We're going to go with that one. See what we got here.
On Binance Premium. All right. So, I guess I'm up first. What do I think about it? Well, the first
I'm going to make you go first. Yeah. For some reason,
first thing I see is the price is underneath the 200 period moving average. 200 period moving average, an uptrend is defined by a rising.
Really quick. Sorry to interrupt. So this is your template, right? Just so people know, like when you pull up a new chart, you have a fixed template and the way that you look at it, bands and certain MAs, right?
Fixed template. I use the 200 moving average. I use the 50. Which is the orange, which are my simple moving averages. Each candle is equal weighting. I used an 8 and a 34, which is the green and the yellow lines. They're exponential. I also use the middle Bollinger, which is a simple 20. And then I'll kind of jump out if I want to look at the on-balance volume and the RSI. But I do that later. I like to look at the price first in relation to key support and resistance. So this is a default template to answer your question. You've got a kind of a longer-term move. Obviously, a blow-off move. You can kind of draw a diagonal. That's fine. Does a little something for you. You can see kind of, throwing back or retesting that, but it needs to get back up above this lower high, right? 44 cents. That's the line in the sand you've set. You've had your recent pump. That's your line in the sand. It's fallen back below that. You've got support breaches here. Now rejection at the MA200. You want to first step, get above the MA200. An uptrend is a rising price above a rising MA200. So I would say I don't see anything actionable on this right now. It's not something I'd be looking to trade. However, if we get above 45, you can very easily go long and use that as your stop loss. That's what I would say.
Love it. I'm going to pull it up myself. 1 second here. I should have probably been doing that while you were...
right? I was mesmerizing you.
I had it. I pulled it up. I just got to put it into my colors. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Right, so here we go. Chili's USDT, Binance. So looking on the weekly. So first of all, I mean, you can't help but look at this and think bullish consolidation, right?
Sure.
Over a long time frame. Like you said, that doesn't mean it's actionable. But you have a massive move up on extreme volume, this was sort of a clear blow off, right? I mean, you would expect a longer wick, but that's a top, right? I mean, that amount of volume and then dropping like this. And so you have price dropping, but you have it dropping on generally declining volume. And so to me, that means consolidation. It doesn't mean we're in a downtrend, right? If you saw this price going down and you saw price increasing, volume increasing, I'd start to get a little worried. Take a look at the daily. I have the 50 and 200 just happen to be on this one.
Okay.
I agree with you. I would honestly take this wider, which makes it even harder to validate a good move. Like I'm a wick guy. So I don't think you're there yet, and you're struggling really hard with the 50 and 200 here if you're an MA person, but I do see this as kind of a massive pennant or a symmetrical triangle. I mean, if you zoom out, it's a little long, right? I mean, I would want, in theory, if I was going to be like a real bull pennant, I would want it to resolve like here, break there or something. But either way, I'll call it a symmetrical triangle. For me, the trade would be, as you said, there's two sort of approaches I would take with this. One is this is clear, you're making lower highs and higher lows. So I would say that this lower high has been confirmed by this higher low. So the trade I would take if you're aggressive is a break of this blue line, but I would want to be above both of these, and I would be looking for that. So which is basically exact. Isn't that what you just said? 45 cents. Yeah, you said 44 cents, something like that. That's exactly the trade I would take. If you're more aggressive, you can play the breakout, but then you end up getting faked out and it goes down, right?
I was reading about. It's funny. I've always been a retest guy, like you just drew it with the circle to throwback. But like in the textbooks, they say that the ones that throw back are less likely to reach their target and reach their move and continue on. It's a weaker move. So I'm a little bit conflicted.
I've always looked at it as just like I want that it's sort of like the insane fear that we saw in the market when Bitcoin just dropped to 42. Yeah. And of course it dropped further and went to 39, but 42 is such a key level. If you're a bull, you want to see it retested successfully. So you naturally get scared because it might fail. It's sort of this conflicting emotions. So for me, I just like to see levels retested, but listen,
I'm with you.
You miss a lot of trades doing it this way.
Yeah.
Right. Because you end up getting this, and especially in crypto, they'll run away from you so fast. Yeah. Also, the reason a lot of people try to play the base, sort of the support of the pennant. I talk about this all the time. So many times I've tried to buy the pennant support. It breaks down. I stop out, and then it forms an epic bull flag.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this, and it's not bearish. You were just early. So I like to just wait really till you have the confirmation, a candle that closes above on increasing volume. That's my thought there. I'm going to look for one
confirmation, for people. Is it a wick? Is it one close? Is it two close? Is it a percentage move? I mean, that's all your style, but I think you've got a good measured approach there.
Looking over here, most of these that you guys are requesting, someone's just saying the word cards over and over again. I think maybe you have Tourette's. Cards. Nothing wrong with Tourette's, guys. I know people with Tourette's. Nothing against Tourette's. I have a lot of requests for QNT. Do you got that?
I remember that, but I'll pull it up. What we going? Coinbase, Binance? What do you got?
Let me see what I'll follow your lead. Pull one up and I'll follow your lead.
I'll go on. There's not a ton of price history on Binance. I think it's pretty new. I mean, that's the thing about this. I mean, this is a good example. You need technical analysis is a study of historical price action. So you've got a few months here. I don't know if there's more. I always say to people, when I do Bitcoin live videos and they give me these requests and I say, listen, if you're in this thing, it's not because it's the chart, because there is no chart. This thing doesn't have a ton of price history. So you're in it for some type of a fundamental reason. You believe in the dev team, or you believe in whatever else they do, whatever widgets, whatever they're doing. For whatever little chart history we have on QNT, you've got the price rising, you've got the rising MA50. You've got a little bit of profit taking evident here with these upper shadows. I think it's fine looking. You've got nice volume on this move up, light volume on the consolidation.
Yeah, it looks just like Chili's.
It's just, but what do you do here? I think you have to look for something actionable, right? You kind of see a little bit of resistance here, and there's 335 to 340 range. You clearly mark that out. I think if you're a bull, maybe you want to buy at the MA50. People always ask me, should I buy? Well, I say, well, what's your thesis? Well, my thesis might be, okay, it's tested the MA50, the orange line. And then if the orange line fails, I cut my trade because their thesis failed. So you could do that, buy the breakout, buy in the rising support. I might wait for even a breakdown and have it retest these levels here. you know, that you get a nice little bounce off that 198, 200, that psychological level. I guess that's what I might say about this chart. What do you think?
I'm pulling it up as we speak. My template usually has RSI, but there's nothing to see on that. One second,
Yeah.
I will. Hey, here we are. Yeah, I mean, as you said, so limited in price history that I'm looking at the 4-hour chart just to like, and that's literally like a couple months. I didn't really realize that. It's kind of funny. I mean, it looks like a very small version of the last chart we looked at, right? So, like, let's see something.
But has it gone on as long after the big move, which is the slight, I think the only real difference here.
I mean, so there's the idea of this channel. It's got 2 consecutive up and 2 down. So technically you want up, down, you know, down, up, or up, down, 2 alternating to really confirm. But I like the idea, and I like how it's riding the EQ of this channel. Just holding that dash line of support. There's nothing to do here on this, to be very clear. Immediately can say that. But I mean, it does look, again, like you had this massive move up, and now you're sort of getting a bit of bullish consolidation. There's nothing to see here with RSI at all. But I mean, you can't really call it a bull flag when it's all the price action that's ever existed.
Right. Yeah, it's gone on too long. It's just a falling channel. It's already gone, you know, more than 50%, you know, of the flagpole, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's not even, honestly, it's not even like the best channel.
Yeah.
Right. That's a little lower, and these are close. You'd want to touch up here. Yeah, I don't see much at the moment.
That's the thing. So these people, it's hard to do technical analysis on a new project. So it's more gambling than anything else, right?
Yeah. You could also pull a range from the highs to the low, and you can see that 1, 2, 3 perfect touches on the EQ of that range. So real struggle. So if you're a range guy, you know, you do either a break of that, but then you get trapped, right? Look how many times you get trapped if you were trying to use that. So that's why I like that throwback. And then you can get a target here. I'll tell you, the only trade I would really take on this personally, and it seems kind of nuts. What's the high? 430 would be a break of the high. Like just here. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even like, this is just, to me, it's trading chop. Yeah. And so I would just look like if it breaks the high and closes a candle above 430, you're in price discovery and it's party time.
Like there's
doesn't always work, but that's it.
But Scott, there's so many other alts, and we'll know when it's time to scan the alts, right? When it's time to look for relative strength, right?
Right. It has been. It's been great until this last Bitcoin move.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion.
But I'll be looking to trade like Sol and you know, AVAX and some other stuff. I'll be looking to trade, you know, stuff that's been strong, that's had the proper structure that gives you levels you can play off of, then some newer, who knows type of chart like that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to even be able to remove this comment, but there's been so many since that I can't do it. And we're not going to look at SHIB. We've done that before. It's a straight line up.
Yeah. Crazy.
So I guess before we go, are there any things you're actually looking at outside of Bitcoin that you're interested in, or are you focused on Bitcoin because it's
fishing, man? I'm thinking about going fishing. Oh, sorry. You're talking about my fault.
I've been trying to play golf. I'm so bad.
Dude, I want to, it's going to be cold soon. I want to get some sunshine and get some more outdoors time before it gets bad. I'm thinking, so, you know, like as always, I think about the regular ebb and flow. So like Ethereum, right? And Litecoin, if I'm, you know, scouting out when Bitcoin is going to do like a 2-3 week consolidation, because that's when I'm going to want to go long Ethereum and go long Litecoin. We'll see that money flow as we always do into those other majors. So I'm kind of thinking about that, and I'm getting ready for that type of move, I guess.
Yeah, I actually, like my last newsletter, I wrote a whole thing, just once again, one of those Bitcoin, large cap, mid cap, small cap, back up to Bitcoin and let it roll downhill again. And I know it doesn't always do that, but it kind of does that, right? Really so like if we're flowing into Bitcoin heavily right now, and like Litecoin, I mean, take a look at Litecoin right now. It's gotten just destroyed, right? So
it's getting a little better. I mean, it's not there.
It did. So what's interesting, I want to, like, I was looking at this. I mean, this is like, if there was, I'm not buying Litecoin, just to be clear.
Sure.
But on the Bitcoin pair, like if you were ever as tight, close to an invalidation of a trade ever, like this is bottom so hard, right? And you even got this, if you're on the weekly, you're getting this sort of like wick below, right? If you draw this line.
But what's nice is you get that wick below, but if it recaptures
that's what you want. That's what I'm saying. You found liquidity, right? If it closes above, you kind of bullish SFP, swing failure pattern. I mean, this is dead. But that's great.
Yeah.
Like if you are a knife catcher, right? I'm not saying that this is not a trade. There's zero confirmation here. It's probably not a trade I would take.
Yeah.
But if you're the knife catching type, if it closes, you can just exit on any close below here on the weekly, right?
It's a clear level, right? What more do you want, right? Then
like this level. It's as knife catchy of a knife catch as you can get. But I mean, this is to your point. If Bitcoin consolidates or drops a bit here, and alts start to perform well against Bitcoin after being this wrecked, this is a large cap that you could flow into and have. I mean, even if you just got back up to like one of these highs.
Yeah, look at that Walmart move.
Like it's more than 50. It's a 50% move, and you're still wrecked, and the chart still looks bad.
That's right. So you got, and the USDT pair also slowly improved. But
you have it.
I have the USDT pair. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it in the USD pair, and you can see like, the May breakdown, it never really broke above that high, and it's interesting. You're scrolling through the alts to see which ones have, like Uni never broke out, but like Dot did, right? You look at the differences between them, and like Litecoin still never broke out of this big kind of rounding bottom type of environment. You've captured the MA50, but you're still below the 200. And so there's relative weakness. So what that means is I'd rather play Ethereum than Litecoin, because Ethereum, right, has that relative strength to Bitcoin, right? It's stronger than Bitcoin. It's been stronger than Bitcoin. Although over the last, week or so, Bitcoin's
but
been
that's the expected.
That's,
when Bitcoin makes its big move, you're going to see weakness. Yeah. People get fooled. They're like, Ethereum's going up. Like,
look at this.
The Bitcoin pair.
Look at Ethereum. Look at this. It's just prepping for a gorgeous breakout. Real clean trade right here. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at 3650. You break this level, you go long. You're at least going to hit 4K. So this is what I'm looking for. If we top off, say we topped off right now in Bitcoin, we're getting a little bit of weakness here in the daily. I'm not saying it's going to, but if we did, look at that up thrust, right, where we temporarily broke that high from 2 days ago. So that could be the beginning of some type of a consolidation. If that happened, then we'll see this Ethereum pump up to 4K. We'll see Litecoin probably pump up to, 185, 190 or whatever it is, maybe 200 or something. So, you don't want to get lulled into sleep where, Bitcoin's going crazy and you think you can just ride it because it will consolidate. And when it consolidates, you want to take advantage, play Ethereum, play the other stuff with relative strength.
Yeah, I have to agree that it looks a lot better. ETH looks a lot. I mean, Litecoin. To be clear, I'm saying it looks destroyed.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it looks good. I'm saying if you're the type to look for a bottom with a tight invalidation, the only thing I would like about that, it's not that I like the chart. I just think you can take a very, very small loss if you choose to enter and it goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing. You want to think about that's why I often say you don't want to enter a trade kind of in the middle of the channel, right? When you're kind of in the middle of
validation is so far, you're going to get destroyed if you're proven wrong. Yeah.
That's what, honestly, a lot of my mistakes come from when I have the right idea, but my timing's off and I go for it anyway. And then just the whole thing's out of whack. You got to be disciplined.
Same. Yeah. You have to be willing to miss it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you just really have to be willing to think, well, if I don't get ETH, I'll get Litecoin. If I don't get Litecoin, I'll get whatever other shitcoin everybody is a fan of that day. Dude, 100%. So as I said, I kept you for probably 20 minutes longer than I was supposed to. So I'm gonna let you off the hook here.
All right, cool.
Guys, I'm gonna hang out for another 5 minutes, try to address a few things over here, but I'm gonna let Cheds out of here, dude. Thank you very much. So listen, before we go, everybody, first of all, check him out on Banter. You also have your own YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I'm at Cheds Trading on YouTube. Thanks for asking. Definitely.
So you guys should check out everything. Go ahead, dude. I'm not going to go ahead and shamelessly promote all the things you have. I follow them. I watch your show.
Screen me real quick. I'll go right through. Jump back. So you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Cheds. It's where people know me from. Chart Guy, Newbie Helper. My book's on Amazon, Trading Wisdom. Check out the reviews. I've been blessed. If you can't buy the book, you can't afford it, check out the free version on my YouTube channel at Cheds Trading, one chapter at a time.
Awesome.
If you want to learn TA, I'm Bitcoin Live founding analyst. Really proud of that as well. And, thanks for having me, bro. It's been a super duper honor. And
I love it every time.
Come back anytime.
We'll just keep doing it consistently. Awesome. Love it, man. Guys. Everybody give a big shout out. Yeah, buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. Trading Wisdom. It's so good. It's so good. I learned so much. Listen, that's, one thing you should always know in life, especially in trading, you don't know everything. You probably don't know that much, honestly, and you can learn from everyone, right? So, I mean, I learned a ton reading the book. And then even just sort of a new take on the things I thought I knew, right?
That's what
Another
I'm saying, right?
perspective or
Hell
right.
yeah. I
You
appreciate
can't know
that,
everything.
man.
So you guys should definitely read it. Absolutely amazing if you're looking to and we got other people here who've read it. See? Fantastic book. Buy the book. Thanks, Big Cheese. Why not Big Cheese? Everybody saying nice
if
things.
anybody's,
So guys,
by the way, anybody who's going through cancer, I wrote a cancer book. I'll email it to you for free. Find me on Twitter. I'll send it to you as well. My cancer memoir. So
yeah,
as well.
guys,
All right.
Cheds is a legend. Cheds is an absolute legend. Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Peace out.
Cheds. I'll stick around. Peace. What's up, guys? Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you, look, it's the best book purchase of my life. I mean, you seriously bought the book. Chad gave me a chub. Seems like a personal thing you should deal with, but thank you, legend. All right, I'm gonna look back through here. I see one or two more chart requests, but I got to go too. FTT, sure, I'll take a look at FTT really quick. 1 second. We're both bearish. I generally also still think sort of, a cautious approach with alts, especially. I mean, they're wrecked on their Bitcoin pairs, right? They've all broken support. We've been talking about that. Pretty shady. I mean, FTX looks, this is kind of support. This is the Bitcoin pair for those of you, I think this whole area is sort of support. That's not exact, but you get the idea. Even down to sort of here. Yeah. See, look, the bottom of this down candle right here, it coincides with these highs. So anything above here, you're catching a knife though, right? So maybe you do the diagonal thing, right? Your downtrend ends there. Let's look at it on the USDT pair. This is one of those ones that broke the all-time high very convincingly, actually. But this candle is scary as hell, right? Huge selling volume, absolute rejection. That's sort of a blow off top, right? The biggest volume on the chart by far. But you do have the breakout here. So I think this will keep going up. But what this is telling me is that if Bitcoin goes up, this will go up less, and the Bitcoin pair might still get wrecked. So really not that exciting. Not that exciting to me in that case. Let's see what else. Yeah, Litecoin is a bananas chart. Looking over here. Oh, I saw that Victoria, who's always here and always supportive, I saw it go by earlier that she asked for Luna. So I'm going to take a look at that before we go. So Luna, Bitcoin, kind of got wrecked. It's in this ascending channel, right? So I would say that this support, I don't really look at that. This ascending support, which actually, okay, let's get rid of that. So I'm going to make this more clear. This is your key support, right? You lose that, you're probably coming all the way back down to this area. I'm going to assume, actually, Victoria, you're trading the USDT pair, aren't you? Can you tell me? Are you trading the are you looking at the USDT pair or the Bitcoin pair? You should be resting, Scott. You're working a lot. I've actually been resting my ass off, guys. I've been making a concerted effort. Like I take like a couple hours here and there off during every day and go do something. Then I come back. It's been kind of nice. I get up early, but I'm not a sleeper. Sleeping is lame. Sleeping is lame and it's a waste of your life. Yes, the science says that if you sleep, you'll live 400 years. Okay, fuck. Couldn't do it if I tried, so screw off. Sleep is the biggest waste of time there is. I hate sleep. I hate the idea of sleep. I hate that I have to sleep. I want to do stuff all the time. I love doing stuff. Why do you prefer the wick to the body when making lines? Because all wicks matter, bro. Like, why does a wick not matter? Explain to me why a wick doesn't matter. It's part of the price action. Why would you ignore them? Yeah, Nas said it. Sleep is the cousin. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. That's right. Yes. I mean, you got to sleep sometimes. I get that. But let's not overdo it. If you sleep one more hour every night, you've probably wasted nothing. You're probably just really rested. For me, though, if I think about that, I'm like, oh my God, what I could do with another hour every day. I go hard. Don't know much chill. I agree. That's the wick question. Just wanted to get it clear for me. Thank you for your answer. I mean, that's the answer, right? It's part of the action. All wicks matter by the same token does 1 inch matter. That's a funny joke. I'm here for any 1 inch joke. I know that I didn't laugh out loud at it, but I want you to know that on the inside, I laughed hard enough that I pulled that up. Just trying to keep my composure here. I love how different the charts look from Cheds and Scott. Scott's charts look OCD clean in comparison. So yeah, I used to have really like I did nothing against it. I'll sometimes have multiple charts. You see how many Bitcoin charts I have? I have like my Bollinger Band chart and my RSI chart. I like to keep them separated mostly for like the benefit of other people, right? Because if it gets cluttered, I can't if I'm trying to share an idea, I want to show you that one idea. Don't want to share you a bunch of ideas. Good sleep improves every minute you're awake, bro. My life is amazing, and good sleep is just going to give me less time to have amazingness. That's not make sense. Luna USDT here. But yeah, so like people who trade MAs always have a line on their charts because you know that's the way that you confirm your trends, and he has Bollinger Bands on top. For him, it's very easy to look at. For me, when I want to share an idea, I want it to be as clean as possible. This looks great. Luna USDT still, right? I mean, you're consolidating here. So this was an all-time high break at 22. We talked about that, Victoria. We've talked about this, right? Came down. This is what I'm talking about. That slightly front run, made a bull pennant, down, up, confirmed. Came right back down to the middle and broke up, right? Broke out on slightly increased volume. And now you're testing the new all-time high. So like, I think anything above $45, either way, this target from the breakout of the bull pennant is intact. So this should, if you're patient, should eventually get to $84. Should eventually get to $84, right? So, and, this is kind of doing a little tiny, like, let's look at the 4 hour. It's kind of doing a little bull flaggy. I don't really like it as much on this, but this is the idea I was thinking of. This is kind of doing like a, but that would have to pull back and connect here, which it doesn't really. Kind of close though. But yeah, I mean, this looks pretty damn good on the daily. It's like the dominant, you can worry about all this you want in the break of 45. The dominant pattern to me was this confirmed pennant, and that's broken up. So that, gives you this target. And if anyone's wondering, so look, I use log charts. They're based on percentages, not on fixed values. So yes, this does not look like this, but you can see that when you pull it up, it looks like that, right? Like if you do linear watch, it looks the same. See, the linear charts are ugly. I don't mess with that. I care about the percentage gain, not the amount, right? Because in reality, a Bitcoin move from $1,000 to $2,000 is not the same as a move from 50,000 to 51,000. It's the same as a move from 50,000 to 100,000. And people who like think linearly and don't think about logarithmically and exponentially, that's why you're like, it's not going to go to 100K, dude. It's not going up 45,000 more dollars. But when you're at $55,000, $45,000 is not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. John would like you to know that he slept only 5 to 6 hours a night till his mid-40s. Then he got out of shape and needed over 8 hours, lost 50 pounds, and only needed 7 hours. Yeah, being out of shape will definitely make you sleep more. I feel like I'm I don't ever stand still. So I'm probably exercising even when I'm doing this with you guys. Like y'all I can't even see, but I've got the restless leg syndrome. My legs doing this the whole time. Like one of the most things that happens in my life all the time is that like sitting at dinner and I'm just kind of like trying to keep my focus, and Emmy like grabs my leg. Sit still. Sit still. Sit still. Skinny guys need less sleep, he says. Oh, so this is also sleep 7 hours, up at 5:15. So I told you guys this. I started intermittent fasting a few months ago. And for like the first month and a half, I was like, you know what I've learned from intermittent fasting? So I like eating and I'm pretty hungry. Right. So I was doing 16-8. You eat for an 8-hour window, you fast for 16 days. 16 hours, 16 days. And the other thing I found, which I have not tested again, is if I like went out drinking, I could break the fast with food, but if I went out drinking, like had even a couple drinks at like 10 o'clock at night, I couldn't sleep at all. Like I'd maybe fall asleep for an hour, wake up, destroyed the next day. So I've stopped doing that. But I've now stuck with intermittent fasting, and I don't get hungry at all. I don't get hungry at all. Today, like I ate, I stopped eating last night at 7. So I should be able to eat at 11. I didn't eat anything. I played golf. I got home at 1 right before this thing, and I just ate. It was fine. Not even hungry anymore, Yeah. Yeah. So Randall says you build muscle in your sleep and your cortisol levels decrease, which is a hormone responsible for weight gain. I don't know if that's good or bad. I saw someone like, listen, man, this guy really needs a Doge chart. Really needs a Doge chart. Like dying for a Doge chart. I missed most of your comments, guys. I'm very sorry. Doge chart. Bounced here. I had drawn that. You're good above 23. I would want to see a break of this, right? So you've obviously got your highs way up here. In context, I called this top, for the record. That's Elon Musk, Saturday Night Live. I said, so get out. Get out while you can. These are key levels. This is your key support from a demand perspective. That held. So as long as you're above this 23.31, especially if you break this blue, should be going to 35 cents at least, and then you reevaluate from there. Oh, guys, it's 220. ADHD is great in a lot of ways. Kept me skinny for years. I mean, I didn't know I had ADHD as a kid because it wasn't a thing. I just got in trouble a lot. And my parents said that I never shut up. And I always had to find like personal life hacks for like getting through everything. Like I do my homework like 5 minutes before it was due and like whatever. I just had to find these life hacks for everything. And then like, somehow went to a good college and I got through that, but I never like excelled there in school because I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to concentrate on stuff. But once I learned to like harness the energy of ADHD, coffee and exercise really do it for me. Like I can get so much done, man. I'm a machine. 10:20 p.m. in Dubai. Still enjoying the show. Thanks for showing up, chatty boy. ADHD, I was the class clown today. I still make people laugh. It's my thing. Randall, we would, and whatever. I was voted class clown. I was voted class clown in high school. Class clown, which you would think you were a joke. And then I went to the best college of anyone in my high school. And I told them all to eat a fatty. Eat a fatty. Guys, I got to go. I have got to go. Gotta go. Check out Superbid right down below. Guys, take a break. Enjoy the weekend. I'm not streaming. I'm not going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be watching the Gators beat Vanderbilt. Maybe chuck a few balls out on the range. I'm so bad at golf. I'll tell you, I played in high school. I was like, maybe I got to like a 13, 14 handicap. Then I took a casual 25-year break till last week. I can hit it far. Sometimes I can even hit it straight. But the problem is when I hit it far and straight, it's always with the wrong club and it goes like 50 yards over the green. Like I hit like one of the shots of my life. It's like, oh my God, I got such good iron on it, but it was a 6 iron and I should have hit a 9 iron. That's my problem. Got to get my club distances. Yeah, but it's fun. I had fun. Went out there with Emmy. Emmy played golf for the first time in her entire life, basically. Maybe she played like once with some ex-boyfriend that we don't talk about anymore or something that I can't remember. But she'd never really played golf. Went out last week. She took a lesson Wednesday for the first time. She went out there and she legit like parred a hole today. Like drove it out there on a par 4. Fucking took like a 7 iron and popped it on the green and 2-putted. My God, man. Give me a break. She's good at everything. So annoying. She's better at me than at everything. All right, guys, enough. See, there's the ADHD. Love you guys. Wolfpack. I will see you back here again Monday morning, 9:30 p.m. EDT. Have a great weekend. Don't obsess over the charts. Enjoy yourself. Live your life. Peace.
That's dope.